There's sound in the background for now, I'm feeling like
These cutthroat busted nonsense, these cold and damp white
join later, ah, so start with long going.
down store lips, I'll spit these words I
Every time that I'm able to look into the chat and see what I was the problem.
lay your arms across the chair. Let fall the flowers from your hair and kiss me with that touch in my soul.
See.
Outside the rain is tapping on leaves. To me it sounds like they're falling. Quiet wait.
Hello guys. Okay. I'm recording just because this is just for myself. Um, and I'm just entering, like I said to the guys, it's just my mechanical process for trading and to review and to get my journal in. So I'll start with, I typically trade 5 pairs, but I'm just doing what I typically do. So if anyone has anything, questions, you can ask me or stop me, or you can say something or not. It's not a problem for me. Um, yeah, so um, just to check that I didn't have any EO trade that I wanted to see from last week. Yeah, we didn't get back here. So that was for a trade inside here. I did not start trading until this time, typically on Mondays. Oh, sorry, in the morning at 11. So if I woke up here, and I look to the left, nothing really special. This, okay. I would want to sell this actually. And I like to use the replay bar just to, even in my, well, maybe because you guys are here, so it doesn't feel like farm fitting. But yeah, I would want to sell that. Where would my target be? My target would want to be this guy because I believe this guy, if price wants to go further down, we need to close below this guy. Maybe not close, we need to expand below this guy. Simply because this was an expansion. This is a second expansion. This is a third expansion. And then we started expanding up. So if this is the end, so we had this, and this was the start of a bullish expansion. For us to continue, we have to destroy this and then on down. So, but this will be my conservative first place for targets. But while I'm doing that too, this is a bearish expansion. This is just a very mechanical model I trade. I need, if we have another expansion through it, another bearish expansion through it, I would sell. I'll buy the whole piece, so I'll have to close my sales. So this same thing here. So this was same thing I'm doing here, but I select not every expansion, of course. I look at different expansions. So this was the expansion I wanted, kind of like I'm cutting through candles. This was the second expansion through it. And this was the OB for this expansion of 9 o'clock. This was it here. So once we CST it, I'm selling that. If I'm taking TP, maybe first TP would be below here, somewhere here. And if I wanted more, then that would be this, but I'll keep tracking it. I think in real life, I closed it somewhere there, if I remember this trade well. But my review is to see what I did. I know what I did because my account shows it, but also to help me remember to pay attention, to trust maybe the model more, to see that things can happen that were there. And I don't know if there was news. I don't think there was news on Monday, if I remember very well. Okay, so TP1 is hit already, but if I turn on Katrina's indicator for a minute, so we hit this 0.2, we hit this too. Yeah, okay, these two are aligned. So if I don't see something out, I think I closed it when we hit this in real life. So I did that. I think this retraced from here, if I'm not wrong. No, or not. So yeah, that was the end of the trade. Um, but where would the SL have been at, spam? Oh yes, I remember you now. SL should be on this candle. Typically, if price wants to, just like you're saying here, if price wants to go up, I believe, I'm of the opinion, of course, you would see that it failed here too. So if we had an expansion here, and we have a second expansion closing through it here, if we drop a candle, a down candle here, this guy, back into the previous expansion, if we start expanding through this guy, so this candle here, which CST did here, price should keep going up. Of course, in this instance, we wicked it, but if I was on the chart, I do not trade around this time. So, and I do not trade this on this Forex space, but I do this on NASDAQ. If this was on NASDAQ, I would buy this because I would lose. But I also have the opinion that once we start closing below the low of this candle, price is not interested in staying up. So, same thing is here. And that's why I was targeting the low of this candle. Expansion down, or maybe not. I should have targeted this. This was the first green candle to close back into this range. If price is bearish, we should, I believe, it's just my idea that we should start expanding through this last green candle. If not, price does not want to go down. I don't know if we did. We expanded through it. Wait a minute. And I was wrong, of course. We expanded through it. Price came back to its open here, rejected a few pips, about just 20 something pips. It's a lot, but I know I would want more. At least I would want a new low, or same idea here. Expansion. Once we close, this was a candle that closed below it. This. Once we CST this here, I would want more, but you see also that in this instance, we didn't put a body there. We just put a wick, so it wasn't interested in going down, I guess. But it's the same trick. And it's very interesting for me that my target was here, but I still got to where I was. But I know that I didn't want to. I think either there was news on Monday or there wasn't, and I just closed it out because I was satisfied. I didn't put my stop should be here typically, but 5 pips. There's an FEG here. I don't mess with that. So I've gone from winning five. I use an RR. I'm one of the RR traders because it's just easier maths and it's easy to journal and it's easy to follow. And but you can just put it above this just because price can wick into this. I don't want a wick to take me out of the prices. So there, it's good. If anybody wants to ask me anything, don't worry, you can ask. But if not to, there is no problem actually. So that what's there? Mm, this is just something I'm tracking, but not added it to my data yet. Not seen the effect actually. After it was a sell. Long, and we can do this. And we have that. Let's 6-4, I believe. Yep. And so this is done. This is done. Now we've seen what happened through the week. But since this is a review, I typically just have everything on because I already know I'm going to do the same thing again mechanically. So when this was done, this is Sunday, this is on Monday, at 9 o'clock. What was there? I don't need this. There's an expansion. There's an expansion through it. My rule says when this kind of formation occurs, I need this and I need this to occur. And this was annoying because this was CPI. And so on the prop, it was no, that was wrong. That's not true. This was CPI candle, 7 o'clock. It came back and I hesitated. This was part of my should have been a much more wonderful week, but I hesitated. So this was it. So what am I saying? According to my rules, it's an expansion. If anybody wants to know where I got this from, it's not new. It's not mine. It's from March 18 review. Kish gives several examples of this. You want the first expansion, that expansion, it's open high, like open high, 50% low, last candle in the expansion. Everything about this expansion is a key level. So if you have a second expansion going through it, you want an OB. So this is my key field expansion. This is a second expansion treat. This is its OB. But for me, because I prefer to be safe, I prefer us to CST this last candle in the expansion here. If I have this kind of simulation whereby the second candle, which here is your key level according to Kish, this I, then I want us to do so. For this one, I'm going to buy here. And same logic, expansion, expansion. What was the first down candle to code, up candle to close back into it? This guy. My stop is going to be there. It's low. If not, because I'm scared, picks it here. TP, first TP. This candle was the second candle in the expansion. So I was targeting this additionally. There, expansion, expansion. We were talking previously about this. This is the first candle to close back into this. There, TP. And this was my TP for that day because I know that on the same thing happened on AUD at this time, but AUD missed me by a weaker. Yeah. On my spread, it just bounced on it here. And you see this was the same thing with the targets because I just felt, of course, this expansion was very big. So Kishes goes for the high of the expansion. This is almost a 6R or something. Of course, it should have been the I should have put this is the low. And on Friday we got back into it and it's still running. So same, of course, this should happen because EU, AU, GU, they are correlated pairs. So whatever is happening on one should be happening on the other one. So that was, I think I want to believe that was a target, if not even these highs. But when I'm journaling and I didn't save it in time because this trade, I got it here. I know I closed it. Yes, I closed it here on my personal account because on the personal account you don't have to deal with news issues that we deal with in prop. So this type one, this mhm. Oh, didn't I usually forget that? Yeah, it was after. And this is our journal. You just put your journals. I think once you first have a mechanical process, it then helps you to go back to a discretionary idea, to be able to impute your own feel of the market. But this is my own personal opinion, though. And then same thing here, this guy, this one here. So there was this here. We Okay, sorry. There was before that because I know there were two trades. This guy, oh, one fill. Hmm, that's strange. Ah, I see it. This, because I knew I took two trades on this setup. This same, yeah. Or the expansion, because I keep track of them since Friday. Same idea. Or the expansion, we close through it here. CSD of this guy. This is the expansion that closed. What is the first candle that closed back to within this expansion? After just talking about the expansion, this my stop was here, and I don't care. It's set up, its own setup. So I bought this first after this candle closed. I set a limit down here. When it's peaked, it got a little bit scared, but it's just the same thing over and over again. And in this instance, this one I didn't put the because this was small and I had a very big stop. And people would say, oh, 43 pips. I don't care. I'm trading 1 hour, one setup, and I'm more concerned about the win. And this, the target was here. I think it was a 1 hour, if I remember very well. Yes, it was a 1 hour trade. Why? Expansion, expansion, the first down candle back into the old one. This, if price wants to continue, close bill above this and price should run. It weaks, it comes back, but it should run. So I was like, this is a big stop. We should take up all these eyes that have been there. But where this I'm satisfied with this. Some would say, okay, it's also a failure swing. Yes, it's true, but for me in this instance, it's not. It's a it's something else. So that was and I was also extended it to 1 hour. So I remember this was a very big one, but rules were followed. And type 1, type 2 has nothing. It's just my way of identifying expansions. If an expansion has a if an expansion has an FEG inside it, then it's a type 1. If not, it's a type 2. So that was that one. We delete this and then I come back. I leave that there. And this same one. But in this instance, it was the second one. So I want a close above, which we get here. I had this down before I went to sleep because this happened here. And I had this like, if you come back here, I would buy this guy here. So let me remove this and this. Yeah. And TP, sorry, long will be there. Expansion, this is one that close to it. This is the guy that returns back. This is, I don't believe price will get here, but for my sanity, this is where I'll put it. My first invalidation, don't close below the low of that candle. And I'm safe. Also, if anybody knows anything W trades, this is a W. Price returns back here, so that was also extra confluence. For me, because I trade Fox pairs, I trade it. So I believe that my stop on this trade was here. Why? I mess around here simply because sometimes I observe my target. Yeah. So this was the target we were using. If I put it down there, it's less than 1 hour. When a trade is less than 1 hour, I don't like it. So I I put this here that day, or maybe I just did it, just extended it a little bit. But no, actually I did not. I remembered that was in the morning there. Same thing. I do not know if it's going to be this is it overnight. It could have it overnight or not, but you draw this before you go to bed so that it helps you make a decision. If we come back to it, of course. We didn't come back to it here, but it changes nothing. So I wake up at this time, this middle period. This is when I start trading. This is there on the side is an expansion. Okay, if we CSD this just like we have it here, I would sell it. This I would not sell this. No. Okay, now I'm waiting. We also have another expansion here, so we might get something through this or not. So we'll see. And bam. This happened when I'm asleep, so I cannot take this trade. We had this. Ah, this will be very interesting because I had deleted this. I'll be very interested in if this worked or not. Hmm. My initial target here was not, this initial target was based on this. Actually, it should be lower because this returns into it. I think I wanted to target the lows here. Hmm. There. We would see if we got that or not. Okay, so here we have a sell. The plan was out there already before it happened. I do not plan while it's inside. This is an expansion. We're going through it. This guy is the OB in the previous expansion. So it's a type 2. Okay, remember that. Picks it up. I remember this because I took the trade. And why do I have this one there too? If we squeeze this back to the back, I was, hmm, I was, that's strange. Yes. I was also looking at this guy, this one on this side. So if I drag it out and I delete this for a minute and this for a minute, this I, this expansion, this was the first expansion through its high. So we see yesterday here, I sold, this was bigger, not because the stop was there. I just moved it after, but because I put this just above here, just there. It was very close because it was so close to it taking me out. I remembered yesterday this lowered entry. Why? I was tracking this, but why didn't I put the stop just there? Because I was like, a lot of things have happened. Additionally, this was an expansion, another expansion through it. If we are additional expansion through it, this guy. So this is the low. If this had closed into it, my first sign that I go down would be this
No, I
one.
can't see.
Yes, to this, then price wants to go down. That's just my opinion. Additionally, expansion, expansion through it. This is the first time we are closing back into this expansion on this one. If we take the high of this candle, then we are bullish. So I couldn't put my stop inside there, knowing fully where the price could retrace. Did I need to buy here? No, really. Do I need to sell here? No, really. But I also do not know if price will just die from here. So that's the thing with trading. Once you remove the fact that you do not know everything, you do not know what price is going to do, it makes your life easy. So on this day, this one, that I didn't put the stop exactly here because this was high a little. I just put it a little bit up. I didn't like that this candle didn't have an heart. In Forex, this is pure liquidity. So I just put it just a little bit. Target was down there, but then I had my fibs on, and I think I took partial somewhere. And this one was very big, but this was like, take this one off at 1 hour and manage this. So we would start with this, and then would observe what happened there. And this one, I'm very sure of it because I know. But also, is it interesting that we wanted to buy here, right? And I think this was dummy news. Yes, price gives you entry, eats it, and for me that's very interesting. I know that this candle didn't just die like that. It went this candle. If we go to the 5 minute, believe me, it was not as So it's this, it's get here. So it's your my limit and gives me 28 pips. That is interesting. That is a lot. And if I go back to the 1 hour, 21 pips. So after it hits on the 5 minutes, give you 28 pips. We wanted, if I remember, we wanted, sorry, longs. We had the longs here. We're targeting this high. So it will have missed, but I don't care actually because, sorry, there is a lot of stuff going on. And this is the high of the long. If something peaks here and gets to, if it gets to 28 pips or 29 pips of 30, this is a win in my book. But yeah, this is just mechanical and I would save that later. So I can actually just use this and show it on the 5 minute. And I think my stop was there. This was a 1.7. Okay. And we would assume that after this close 1.38, I took it out. So for me would be type 2. And this is what it looks like on the 1 hour. Okay. And save this quickly. Did there. I'll put a 1.3. 1.3 is my ideal. If a trade reads 1.3 in my book, the trade won already. Everything else after that, it's just idea. So that happened. This didn't hit. I'm certain of that. Yeah, it did not hit. So, but I closed this. I've forgotten why I closed it. Yeah, the fib. So this closed everything here on this candle. Closed everything on this candle. Or maybe it still went down. I don't remember. No, did not. This was Thursday. 0.2 between these ranges. This indicator is from Catherine and it's really, really good for levels. Oh, did I not? Let's see a minute. Okay, then I close this there. So, and it's not form fitting. This chart, this was there on the chart already. So, um, if I turn this off for a minute, and we bring this out, and I turn this back on, and if I delete you for a minute, this, this. So type 1, type 1. Okay. Now, okay. And if we go back and now we delete this, we change this back to this. Yes, also because the low of this expansion was very close to this. So another confluence as to why my TP was there. I remove this. Oh, sorry. And this is, you see, alerts are still on the arrow lines. So not form fitting here, just purely mechanical. Pick a random time. You could pick a random time and you see an older lot if an older lot. Well, no, I think the older lot is for here. So we leave it on. So we drag this here. This is OB. This is our entry. This was just beautiful. Let's just move this up a little. 2.9. All right.
Got a question.
Yes, please.
So I'll just let you finish.
No, please continue. I'm with you.
Right. No, just go ahead. When you go back to the chart, I'll show you something.
Okay.
Right. So you do trade the KFC model, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So in that short there, the short that you just logged, what gave you confidence? I mean, unless you're going to tell me higher time frame, but what gave you confidence that that short was going to hold there?
For the TP or for where it's
For the entry, yeah.
for the entry. Okay. Honestly, I want to say it's because of my model, it's because of this. Nothing. There's no confidence. That's the truth because we do not read we do not know what the price will do.
For sure.
But we have ideas of what we've seen. So I have data, right? This is data. This is from week 17 for the last, what, 17 weeks? Data. Same thing, again and again, just tweaking one or two things in it. So it gives me a little bit of confidence that, all right, this thing is more than 55% win rate. So I accept it. So first that, right? Because we do not know the future. Okay. So before all this plays out, I come this year and I was saying it. So let's come here. And we could pick a different chart also. And we'll see it fail and we'll see it win. I have this expansion. So this yellow box. I believe that with expansions, there are two ways to trade it, according to what Kish said it in the March 20 video, March 18. So if there were two ways to trade an expansion, I believe we can have a second expansion. So Kish says if you're on one time frame, in that video, it was like if you're on a time frame and you do not even have a direction or anything, just find one failed expansion. Let that failed expansion be like, let its high, its low be your key level. Then wait for a second failed expansion to occur and use that second expansion, find an OB inside there and trade it. So, that was my understanding from the video. So I have this, what I call the nested KFC, or someone helped me to name that. A KFC, sorry, a failed expansion, a second failed expansion. But when do I know when to use a second failed expansion? I have my rules. If the, and it's also so there in that video, it was like, typically you want your hobby to form within this with the second candle after the expansion fails. So expansion up, expansion, first candle, expansion has failed. Typically, you want this candle to be your hobby. If this was your hobby, a CST of this, it's open, is a ski level, and then when this doesn't happen for my back test, I prefer this kind of for example, in this long expansion, we CST it inside. This is your key level, the open here, buy it up. I do not trade these ones, not because they do not work, they work also, but because in that video, Kish used an example whereby we didn't close the two bar, so the last candle the expansion. So I just stuck to that and it's okay, it's a filter. So I extended it out. You see, I'm trading on one singular time frame, 1 hour, following the same stuff. This expansion here, we closed below it. This was it. I didn't, of course, I'm not awake to see this in my trading period, so it doesn't even matter. I wake up, I see this second expansion through it. All right. This is my drawings from Wednesday. I mark the low of this candle, set an alert on it. This goes up, we close here. If we
Wait, so pause that. Pause
okay.
that. So the first expansion, the yellow box,
Yeah,
at that point becomes your, I guess, the range from which you want to see buy side, sell side being ran,
yes,
etc., etc. So that first candle that you point out, the first candle that breaks out, that's your OB candidate.
yeah.
And
Because
you
we
want to see
closed the eye of the old expansion. Yes,
right. So you want to see a close below that before you engage.
absolutely. It must be
I
a
got you. I
CST.
got you. Got you.
Absolutely. So while this is happening, I'm also thinking, where will my stop be? Will it be this high? Will it be this where? No. And I'll show you what also makes me determine my stop. So while we were there, we opened, nothing was happening. An expansion, another expansion, nothing is changed yet. But before this happens, I'll be telling myself and this maybe tomorrow when I'm explaining NASDAQ, I would explain my principle behind this. I believe that even before all this candle formed, I believe we need a red candle is going to be placed here. It's not magic, it's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way markets, well, I'm saying that would work. So if we place a red candle here, I would put my SL at the high of the candle there. I believe that if we close below above that candle, we start expanding above that red candle, price wants to go up. What I'm saying fails, but most times it works, or more times than it fails, it works. So if I remove this, for instance, all through this time, you would see that nothing has been confirmed on my model, aside this one. But yes, aside this, this was the second candle. You see, we didn't take this low. First candle, second candle. This closed above this. But
Yeah.
I'm not awake. This is 21 o'clock for me. I'm awake, or maybe I'm not awake, or if I'm awake, I do not trade yet. But if price comes back here, I would sell it if I was awake. Same thing, same process.
I got you.
Now we're waiting. And like I said, there's going to be a down candle that should close back into this high at a point in the future. This topped it, didn't close into it. This closed into it. All right. If I go back to this bearish one, bearish expansion, was it first two candles an OB? No. Then this expansion. So I already said I wanted a down candle here. All right. Then my down candle is even an OB to this old expansion using the same logic. If you see it, if you go above this, it's a buy. If
It's a
not,
buy. Yeah.
yeah, nothing. But I cannot put it because price can weak it and not do anything. So I put my stop a little bit above it. I could even put it here because I'm afraid of this, but this is already too much that I'm giving back. So I put it somewhere there.
Yeah.
We see yesterday this was what we wanted to confirm. This do not weak or close above this. After that, do nothing more. Kish says the low of this is the first target. Of course, there are other things inside here. You could target swing failures. I also use Katrina's indicator for levels price could get here. I also use the same logic. I was even thinking about this. Why? Same logic. Expansion, expansion through it. This was the first candle to close. This candle was the first one to close back into this old expansion. So before all this happened, there was a green stuff. There will be a line here expecting a retracement. When I'm trading, for example, on the 1 minute, I use it a lot. It's there because I'm not afraid of retracement. But tomorrow I will show us easily what I mean when I'm reviewing us because I trade that primarily on the lower time frame. And that's all, nothing more. Nothing more. And the same logic here, expansion, we expand through it. Did we CST this? Yes. If I was awake, I wasn't, I believe. We CST this, actually, like, this was the candle that closed above it in this expansion. And that's why this is here. We weak this, that's enough for me. You see in this, because if you have an expansion and a second expansion through it, you do not need a close above this for direction. This additionally, like I said, expansion, if I delete this for a minute, expansion, we expanded through it. I believe there should be a green candle here. So that makes me hold my longs more. And in this instance, there could be at a time in the future a red candle there. So my stop could not, this is the expansion. This was the first candle that closed back into it. Same thing. When this happened, you were expecting a green candle here, rather. Gave it to me here. A red candle can tip print here. This is risky. No bottom wick. Okay, I'll take it down a little because I have a level from previously. So why not? This might end at any time now. Closes above it, wicks, comes back into it, buy. Same thing.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you make of the? Because you correct.
So if you have a Zoom link, you could send and we can continue because this will end any minute now, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
okay.
We can send in the Telegram and we can continue. Thank you.